It's crazy, over the last year, I've probably seen more power outages where I live in Canada, even during -30, than I've ever seen. And that's where this comes in. This is the Solix F2000. It's a beast of a power station with up to 2,048 kilowatt hours. But not only that, it has the ability to charge 3 ways, either through solar, AC, or DC. I'm gonna take you through a real world situation where your power goes out and you still want to run either your whole house, your cabin, or your trailer. And I wanna see how well the F2000 is gonna handle that situation. Now, welcome back to the channel Bad Tech, where I go over all sorts of tech products so you don't have to. Now, if you missed last week's video, I went on Temu.com and spent way too much money on tech products to see if I could actually get some decent value out of the discounted website. Now, if you've ever thought of ordering on Temu, I'm telling you, you're gonna wanna check out that video first. It's linked right down below in the description. So let's start with the sockets on the Anker Solix. Now, this model comes with 6 AC ports. However, there is a newer model that does come with the TT30R port for your RV. Now, each of these ports can handle around 1200 watts max. However, with the inverter mode, you're able to upgrade that all the way up to 2000 watt max. It comes with 2 12-volt car DC ports as well. And I think more impressive than everything else is the fact that it has 3 USB-C ports with 100 watt max charging for each one. It also comes with 2 USB-A ports as well. Now, this is one of my favorite features for camping, or if you have this outside, maybe you're using it for a trailer. This built-in light here, which has adjustable brightness. And it also has an SOS mode if we hold down this button right here. Now, this model has a built-in display that actually gives you quite a bit of information, but we're gonna go over that later in the video. Now, both the AC and the car socket have the ability to turn off the output going through those sockets. So we can toggle that just by pressing this button right here. And you can see it will also display some further information on the screen when we do that. So in the back here, we have the connector if we want to add the additional battery to our Anker Solix F2000. Now, you can only attach 1 additional battery, so this is only upgradable to 4,098 watt hours. Now, we're gonna go over the charging a little bit later in the video, but there are 3 ways to charge it. You have your AC charge port right here. We have our DC port for our car. And lastly, we do have 1 integrated solar charging port. But Anker does give us this adjustable adapter that allows us to connect up to 5 solar panels. And we're gonna break down a little bit later how much wattage in this can actually take. Okay, so now that we've had a chance to check out some of the main features of the Anker Solix F2000, let's get to the power outage and see how well this handles itself in a real life situation. Now, the first thing I had to get set up is some lighting. Now, we easily could have used the built-in lighting on the Anker Solix. And you can see that actually works pretty well in this scenario. But I did want a little bit more. So we got a ring light plugged in. Now, thanks to the front display here, it's gonna tell us exactly how much wattage it's using. And we can just click the display button right here. And you can see we have 1.7 days remaining, and only 16 watts being output. So we got light now, that's great, okay? Power outage, light, that's the first thing we need. What do we need after that? I think we need some entertainment. Take our power cord. We're gonna plug it into our outlet right here. Take our remote. Well, that worked. Now we can go and throw on some Netflix as well. Let's check up on our wattage, and it looks like it's only up to 46 watts right now. We need to really start powering this thing up a little bit. Well, it's definitely still cold in Canada, so how about a space heater? Now, if you don't know, space heaters use a lot of wattage, so let's take a look at the display now. So that automatically brought us up, outputting close to 1,700 watts already, with the space heater running on high. But I don't think we're done yet. Popcorn, anybody? Now, just to show you, it's really started to kick into overload. So you can hear that fan start to go in the back because we're now running a microwave, which is bringing the output up to 2100. We have the space heater on, and we're making popcorn. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can hear that fan on the camera, but it is extremely loud, and this is very unusual for this device. In fact, it usually stays pretty quiet the whole time you're using it. But when you have a microwave hooked up, and you have a space heater, and we have a TV, and we have a light, that is a lot of wattage being used at once. Now, the reason why it's usually so quiet is because of the GaN prime transistor, and what that does is keep it extremely cool compared to other devices. So now we can take a good look at the app, and this actually gives us quite a bit of information. It's showing us exactly how much AC power is being outputted right now. It's showing us the temperature of the device sitting at close to 20 degrees Celsius. And it's showing the remaining power. So if we were to run the microwave with the heater, it could only last another 36 minutes. So the app's extremely useful, and it even breaks down how much each of the USB-C and USB-A ports are being used. And it will also track the input as well if we were to charge it right now, which we're gonna do a little bit later in the video. I mean, I think all of that pretty much answers the question. If we were wondering if the Anker Solix could at least power the necessities while we were in a power outage, or if you're just camping, I think the answer to that is clearly yes. Now, one of my biggest worries was how easy is this thing to carry around? And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This thing is heavy. But they do give you two pretty beefy handles that if you're strong enough, you can pick it up pretty easily. But I mean, that's not realistic for most people either traveling or carrying this thing around. So they have included this easy tow handle, which I really like the placement of it. It's at the top and you just press one button in order to get it out. You can easily lift it up, and for me it's almost waist height, which means it's kind of like carrying around luggage that has the little wheels on it. And the wheel design is actually pretty durable. It works well on both concrete, and I have this pebbly kind of concrete, moves really easily. Also, soil and grass isn't an issue at all. Carrying it by the easy tow handle takes away most of the weight. This makes it so people of all ages can easily move this around. So you had a rough night and you expended all the power out of your battery. And now you want to know, how can I recharge it and how long is it going to take? Well, there's three methods to recharging the Anker Solix. Now I'm going to start with the one that you're probably not going to use often, and that's the 12 to 24 volt DC recharging. Now this means you can plug it directly into your car, but the amount of time you need to recharge it using this DC plug-in is ridiculously long. Now the two realistic choices are either solar or the AC plug-in. Now their solar is configured for up to 1,000 watts. And Anker does have solar panels that vary in size, but the good part is you don't have to use their brand. In fact, there's a lot of off-brand solar panels that offer higher wattage for cheaper prices than what Anker does. Now, if you decide to go with Anker, you're probably going to need multiple solar panels in order to reach that 1,000 watt max. But the most realistic choice for recharging this is probably AC for most people. Now with the AC plug-in, you get up to 1,440 watts charging. And thanks to their GaN Prime technology, this means you can recharge this, or so they say, within 2 hours. But of course, we're gonna test that out to make sure that is true. So just to show you, I made sure I ran the battery completely out last night making popcorn. You can see it's having the 1% error sign showing right there. So we're just gonna plug in our AC cord in the back. So now that we have it plugged in, you're gonna see the input is right there. Now this slower recharge time is mainly due to my outlet and the amount of wattage going out than the actual device itself. So I had to bring it outside and plug it in because my outlet just wasn't getting the right amount of wattage, maybe something to do with the actual outlet. But you can see now we have around 1,400 watts being input, which is pretty close to what they say. And that gives us around a 1.2 hour charge time remaining with 30% charge already. And I think Freya's pretty happy with those numbers. So we'll come back in a little bit and see it when it is fully charged. So it took a little bit of time, but we have it charged up. And I can officially say with the 1,400 watts that go into it, it does charge it in actually less than 2 hours. Honestly, a pretty impressive charge time. And also if you're using the solar panels, you can only expect maybe an extra hour with the 1,000 watts going in. So you're still looking at close to a 3-hour charge time. Okay, so let's go down to the nitty-gritty here, because the whole point of the channel is for me to tell you when tech is bad. And to do that, we have to compare it a little bit to something that's similar. Because to be honest, so far it's been hard for me to say a lot of bad things about this. Now, the closest competitor you could probably find is the EcoFlow Delta Max 2. And this has the exact same watt hours as the Solix F2000. And I'm going to, without a doubt, say the Anker has a way better overall aesthetic and functional design. It has that easy toe handle and really high quality wheels where you don't get that with the EcoFlow brand. However, this one is capped, like I said, at around 1400 watt AC charging, where the Delta Max, you're going to get close to 1800 watts, which is going to charge that at least a little bit faster. Both solar and DC charging remain the same between both of the devices. Now with the Anker Surge Pad, which is going to allow you to run high wattage appliances, this can handle 200 watts extra at around 3600, where with the EcoFlow, you're only getting around 3400 watts. And that extra 200 can make a huge difference. But there is one thing the EcoFlow can do that might make it a little bit more useful depending on your situation. The EcoFlow, you can actually connect multiple batteries in a circuit, where with the Anker, you can only connect one extra battery. That means the EcoFlow can run at around 2000 extra watt hours if you have two of the additional size batteries connected to it. And if you're trying to use these for like your cabin or for your trailer, you might need that extra power. But let's be honest, none of that matters if the price isn't right. So despite the extra battery capability and the extra charging time with AC, the Anker is still close to $500 cheaper when it's not on sale. So this one goes for around 2000 USD. However, there is like a $500 coupon right now. I see it's on sale all the time for around 1500, where the EcoFlow is around 2500 regular price, but same thing, you can get it on sale for close to 2000 pretty often. But when we're talking about bad tech, can I say this is a bad product? For me, this is the best power station I've tried out yet by far. I'm going to continue to hopefully get more of these into review in the future, and we'll have more to compare them to. But right now, if you need something for when you're in a pinch for a little bit of power, this is going to do the job. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right down below. I'll see you all next week.